Typically, when you hang out on your couch at home and put on a movie, you're trying to unwind. But what if you want to get your heart pumping and work up a sweat, but you don't want to, exercise? There's really only one solution. Cue up a pulse-pounding thriller, sit back, and don't relax. Here are some hidden gems that have enough thrills to replace leg day at the gym. Nikolaj Coster-Waldau has a talent for playing bad guys with troubled hearts. In Shot Caller, he plays a man who's struggling to walk the line between good and evil. Married father Jacob Harlan finds himself behind bars after drunkenly running a red light and accidentally causing the death of his pal Tom in the back seat. In order to survive prison life, Harlan gets violent, rising in the ranks of one of the prison's bloodthirsty gangs. When Harlan finally gets paroled 2 years before his sentence is up, he's a totally different man. What's more, he's forced to stay one step ahead of the ruthless gang leader who's threatened his ex-wife and son in exchange for Harlan's loyalty outside the joint. The result is a dark, gritty film that will keep you feeling the tension right up until the final frame. Murder, revenge, and old family rivalries erupt into modern-day violence. This is the stuff great thrillers are made of. Blue Ruin is the gripping 2013 film by Jeremy Saulnier, the same guy behind the punk rockers vs. Nazis thriller Green Room that came out 2 years later. Blue Ruin's premise is simple, but what unfolds as the movie progresses is anything but. Dwight, a bearded drifter living out of his car, is informed that a man named Wade, who was convicted of killing Dwight's parents 2 decades earlier, is soon going to be released from prison. Naturally, Dwight has one thing on his mind: revenge. Once the wheels of the plot begin to turn, it isn't long before blood begins to spill everywhere you look. Let's just say this movie seems to argue that revenge murders are like potato chips. It's hard to stop at just one.
You recognize it? Dun, 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 dun. It's A-Team guy, man, from the show.
Picture this. You're driving along on your way to see your kid, and suddenly your cell phone rings. It's a woman you've never met or even spoken to before, and she's begging you for help. She's in trouble, and things might end violently for her if she doesn't get rescued. Do you drop everything and put your own life in jeopardy to try and save her? That's the setup for Connected, a 2008 Hong Kong thriller co-written and directed by Benny Chan. If that story sounds familiar, it should. It's the same premise as the 2004 American movie Cellular, which Chan set out to remake with Connected. Chan's goal with the remake was to give it some Hong Kong action movie flair, and he definitely succeeded. If you're looking for a life-or-death, ticking clock plot mixed with a healthy dose of action, you should definitely not hang up on Connected. Some of cinema's most famous and exciting badasses are relatively normal folks who get thrust into extraordinary circumstances, and who have to rise to extraordinary heights to win the day. That's basically the story of Donal in 2017's Bad Day for the Cut. The middle-aged amateur car repairman lives with his old mother on a small farm in Northern Ireland. While he may long for some small bit of adventure, he's content to grab a pint at the pub and keep things slow. That all changes when he wakes up to find his mother dead, the apparent victim of a botched robbery in his home. When Donal is targeted for elimination soon after, he's had enough and starts looking for answers. What unfolds is a tangled web of crime, revenge, and decades of secret grudges coming to light. It's hard to imagine many thrills coming out of attending a dinner party held by your ex-wife and her new husband. Tension? Sure. Awkwardness? Check.
Will, come here.
Hey. Oh.
But thrills? Well, only if there's something seriously weird going on underneath the surface. Fortunately, that's exactly the case in the 2015 low-budget drama The Invitation. Years ago, Will and Eden suffered the loss of their son and their relationship fell apart. When the movie opens, Will and his current girlfriend Kira arrive at a dinner party held by Eden and her new husband David. It should be no surprise then that things are pretty tense. As the couple and other guests start to learn more about a strange group that Eden and David have joined, things go from tense to terrifying pretty quickly. How far would you go to protect the people you love from those who'd harm them? Now, answer that same question, but imagine you also happen to be a surgeon, a job that requires you to make a promise, an oath if you will, to do no harm. That's one of the main conflicts at work in The Oath, a 2016 Icelandic film starring and directed by Baltasar Semper. Semper plays Finner, a surgeon who's disturbed by his daughter's growing relationship with a drug dealer named Otar. As Finner tries to intervene and pull his daughter out of her boyfriend's orbit, Otar starts pushing back violently. What's a doting dad to do? The answers will have you on the edge of your seat. The best plans are the ones that go exactly how they're supposed to. It's ironic, then, that the best movies are the ones about plans doing the exact opposite. Nothing's better than watching a plan blow up in the characters' faces, especially when they're all trying to do some nasty things. Such is the case in Sweet Virginia, a 2017 thriller set in a small town in Alaska where a hitman has come to do a job. Naturally, things go wrong, and instead of one dead person, the town finds several. And that's only the start of everyone's troubles. With haunting direction from Jamie M. Dagg, Sweet Virginia features stellar performances from all of its leads, not to mention a slow burn plot that will keep you guessing about what'll happen right up until the very end. Stopping a murderer before they strike is pretty standard fare for the thriller genre, and just because that's the kind of premise you see in lots of movies doesn't make it any less enjoyable when it's done well. But what about catching a killer after he's already snuffed you out? That's the hook in Every Time I Die, an independent film that dropped in 2019. A paramedic named Sam is involved in an affair with a married friend, and he's also haunted by a secret trauma in his past. But when his lover's husband finds him and kills him, that's not the end of Sam's story. It's actually just the beginning. What follows is a twisty, turny thrill ride that sees Sam jump from body to body, all while trying to stop the man who killed him from killing him again. With only 5 main characters whose stories are all tightly interwoven, Every Time I Die is a great showcase of how inventive a low-budget indie film can be. Thanks for watching. Click the links in our video to watch more from Netflix Film Club. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the latest exclusive videos. Plus, hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.